Most likely, it's not a coincidence that you are interested in Blitzship. Most likely, you might have been interested in AWS forever and were always afraid to try it out. Or maybe you have even tried it out, but it was too cumbersome to work with, especially on localhost. So you just gave it up. But in your heart, you know that AWS is the go-to place for startups and SaaS applications. So I'm just gonna make your life so much easier with this setup that we have created at Blitzship. Let me just quickly show you how people usually try to set up infrastructure and then how we will define infrastructure using Blitzship. So usually people just go to the AWS console, they search for their services, for example, a DynamoDB table or some Lambda functions or some S3 buckets for file storage. They go to this ugly page here. They try to create a bucket. They have to go through this whole form here, and it's just ugly. It just doesn't work nicely, especially if you want to develop locally. But as a matter of fact, there's so much better solutions out there. And one of those is called SST, the serverless stack framework. And it helps you define all of your infrastructure as TypeScript code. So we have set up a bunch of stacks here already. If we go to the bucket stack, for example, as you can see, we import some SST constructs, mainly the bucket stack here. And we just run a new bucket, give it a bunch of options, and this will automatically deploy the bucket to AWS. So even if you develop locally, once you run npx sst dev with your stage, which is called just by my name, it will actually go through this code, go through all of this TypeScript constructs, publish them to SST, and then you can work with them. They're already hooked up to your local system, and then everything you do actually runs on the AWS infrastructure, but through WebSockets gets back to your computer, and it's like magic. You just define all of the infrastructure and it just works. And the same thing is true if you want to deploy your app to production. You just run npx sst deploy to your production stage. Stage production. You run this and we'll again take all of this TypeScript code, deploy it automatically on AWS without you having to go to their website, click around, search for the options, none of that. It will just do it automatically, and it's just a breeze to work with. And as you can see, we have defined here a bunch of stacks already. These are stacks that are basic for most of the SaaS applications out there. So for example, an email stack will set you up to send transactional emails from your domain. The next stack will allow you to publish a Next.js website. The auth stack will allow you to have an authentication table with user sessions and credentials, all of this in the table. And yeah, this makes it really fun, and happy blitz shipping.